Всем привет! Вы на канале моя Фазбера. И сегодня будет видео с историей Мистера Хиппо. Как вы хотели послушать вот эту историю, английский, типа по-русски. Но суть в том, что я хочу показать, это очень долгие истории про Мистера Хиппо, его истории. Ладно, начал, ребят, пишите на мой канал, пожалуйста, прямо сейчас. Мне еще не хватает еще собрать 1020 подписчиков. Мне нужен еще человек, который подписывается, и все. Ну ладно, я посмотрю ваше мое сообщение, которое... Так, вот. Я скоро забираю коррекцию, уже 91%. Выбирай да, чем нет. Итак, посмотрим. Ребята, вам нравятся вот новости? Хорошие новости. Решилось чудо. Представляете, я встретил Фредбера. Ну, будем встретиться на стриме и покажу вам, что это правда. Ладно. Короче, это хорошая новость, и я встретила Фредбера. Это хорошо. Ну ладно, ну сначала история мистера Хиппо. Так вот, я нашла и... О, чуть не упала телефон. Ладно, и мы начинаем. Сейчас. Все. Реклама.
Я дорогой пиджак, а не подушка. Меня нельзя мять.
Думайте о важных вещах, а об одежде позаботится
Так.
Это
не было. Я сейчас. Камера. Так, ой. Извините, ребята, ладно, мы начинаем. Ну, более-менее так не
My
близко.
friend, you have met a terrible, terrible demise. But, I don't feel too bad about it. After all, if it weren't from me, it would have just
Он
been
говорит
from someone
английский,
else, you
как
know?
стонает.
I guess what I'm trying to say is life goes on. Well, for everyone else, life goes on, not for you.
Это очень долгая
You're dead.
история.
But that's neither here nor there. It reminds me of one summer day in the park. I was having just a delightful picnic with my
На
good friend
улице?
Orville.
Серьезно?
And I said to him, Orville, I have a story. And he said to me, what's the significance of the story?
Какие ушки Орвилла, вот такие ушки.
I said to him, Orville, not every story has to have significance, you know?
Милый Орвилл.
Sometimes a story is just a story. You try to read into every
я
little
скажу, что
thing,
история это
find meaning
просто
in everything
история.
anyone says. You'll
Месть
just
какая-то.
drive yourself crazy. Had a friend do it
Это
once.
не было.
Wasn't pretty. We talked about it for years. And not only that, but you'll likely end up believing something you shouldn't believe, and thinking something you shouldn't think, or assuming something you shouldn't assume, you know? Sometimes, I said, a story is just a story. So just be quiet for 1 second of your life and eat your sandwich, okay? Of course, it was only then I realized I made sandwiches, and poor Orville was
Как
having such
аниматроники должны
difficulty
едать
eating it.
еду? Как?
Elephants have those clumsy
же
hands,
роботы.
you know? Actually, I suppose that's the problem. They don't have hands at all, do they? They're all feet. And I couldn't imagine someone asking me to eat a sandwich with my feet. Now, if I recall correctly, there was a bakery nearby. I said to him, Orville, let me go get you some rye bread. Now, I'm unsure if elephants enjoy rye bread, but I assure you that Orville does.
Я Орвилл,
Now,
тоже
this was
такие
on a
ушами
Tuesday,
своими.
which was
Такой
good
милый.
because rye bread was always fresh and
Мистер
juicy.
Хиппо, зачем
They
он
make
пошел в
sourdough
магазин? Там
bread
люди,
on
блин,
Monday and threw it out
испугаются.
Wednesday. Or rather, they sold it at a discount for people wanting to feed the ducks, and then probably at the end of the day, finally, they threw it all out. I don't recall. I do
Люди не
remember a
понимают,
man
что
who
там
would bring his son
аниматроник
to the
на
bakery
улице.
every
Они
Wednesday
такие, ходит
and go feed the
нормально,
ducks.
ничего не
He would buy all of the
происходит, а тут
sourdough bread.
аниматроник
Of
там.
course, you're
Мистер
not
Хиппо,
supposed to
блин,
feed the ducks
вообще.
sourdough bread at all. It swells up in their
Как голуби
stomach
едят
and then they all
хлеб
die.
просто, без
But
крошки.
at least that's what I've heard. You know, I never saw any ducks die myself, but I did notice a substantial decrease in the duck population over the course of a few years. I just never thought to stop the man and tell him that he was killing the ducks by feeding them sourdough bread. And if you want my opinion on the matter, and I told Orville this as well, if you want to feed ducks, or birds, or any kind for that matter, it's best to buy seed. I mean, when you think about it, breads of any sort don't occur in nature. They don't grow on trees or spring up from the bushes. I don't think birds know what to do with bread. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So I bought Orville some rye bread.
Все, твой
What a
друг
fine
куда-то
day it was.
пошел. Милая история. Ну, понятно. Почему близко? Ну,
It
пофиг.
seems that you have met a horrible demise, my friend.
Да
But,
чего так близко вообще?
these things happen in life. Life goes
Ну,
on.
ничего
Not
страшного.
for you, obviously. You're dead. But it reminds me of a time I was having a conversation with my friend Orville. We were where were we? I think we were by the river. We were sitting by the river and watching the fish leap over
Они
the
что,
falls.
как
And,
рыбы
I
про
said to Orville,
водопад?
you know,
Странно.
sometimes I feel like a
Логика.
fish leaping over and over again, always trying to get somewhere, though I don't know where, only to find myself in the jaws of a beast. He, of
Как?
course, looked at me, surprised, you know.
Как
Have you been in the
работает?
jaws of a beast, friend? To
Какой
which I
милые
said, no, of
глаза.
course not, Orville.
Обожаю
I said,
аниматроники
no,
такие
no.
милые.
I simply meant
Help
that
и лайки милые.
life can seem like a relentless endeavor to overcome meaningless obstacles, only to meet an equally meaningless fate, regardless of your efforts, regardless of the obstacles you've passed. And Orville, he stood and proceeded to drape me with a picnic cloth, to which I asked
Так
him, I
и
said,
надо.
friend, what are you doing? He looked at me very concerned, really. I feel like you've gotten too much sun. Indeed, indeed I
Мистер Хиппо
had.
такой
He
глупенький.
proceeded to pour me a glass of just ice
Как
cold
они пьют
lemonade.
воду?
Ooh, you ever mix it with iced tea?
Логика
You do
какая-то
like
опять.
little half
Как
lemonade, half
аниматроники
ooh,
должны
so you
пить
should
и
try it
есть.
when you
Они
can, because
робот,
you're
как
dead.
они могут
Anyway,
пить
so
и
you may
есть.
be asking yourself, how did I go from sitting by the falls and drinking
Странно.
lemonade
Пишите
to
комментарии,
being wedged
почему?
in the air duct? Not only with Orville, but with an entire assortment of fruity-colored friends. Well, there's really no good answer to that, but perhaps I met a demise of my own at some point, and this is my afterlife or my dream, whatever it might mean. I honestly don't know. Or maybe it doesn't mean anything at all. Maybe it doesn't mean anything at all.
Все ясно тебе. Почему так близко? 2 раза подряд.
Well, it seems that your journey
2 раза
has
подряд
ended.
так
Very
близко с
sorry
камерой.
about
Вася.
that.
Да!
It was always going to
Ужас.
end this way, of course. If it
Ужас
weren't by
просто.
me, it would have just been by some other, terrible thing. Just you could not imagine
Лучше ты
how
расскажешь
terrible it
свидание
would be.
часовой лягушки,
Just,
как ты
I get scared
встретил
thinking
часовую
about it.
лягушку,
Glad
как
it's not
помогал
me.
аниматроникам
Reminds
вообще.
me of a time I was speaking to my good friend
Ребята,
Orville.
вообще ты где?
We were sitting on a park bench watching the pigeons. I was on the
Откуда
left,
голуби
he
в
was on the...
лесу?
Wait, was I on the right
Серьезно?
or left? Anyways, it doesn't matter. We were sitting on there watching the pigeons. And I said to Orville, friend, those birds are frozen. And he kind of looked at me like I'd lost my
Вот
mind.
это значит
But I
холод.
reminded him that it was
Вроде как.
winter, and often birds will sit in a tree until they freeze. And then they sort of fall to the ground until the sun warms up and they can, move around again. So I said to Orville, you might as well save those breadcrumbs until the birds thaw, because they can't very well enjoy them in the condition they're in. To which he asked what I meant, and asking what condition the crumbs should be in before he threw them to the birds, assuming that I meant the birds couldn't enjoy the breadcrumbs in the condition that the
Хорошо,
crumbs
что
were
это
in,
не пикник,
when in
это
fact
хорошо.
I had meant the birds could not enjoy them in the condition that the birds were in, considering that the birds were frozen. So he took a moment and then threw his last handful onto the ground. I said to him, Orville, why did you throw the breadcrumbs to the birds when I just told you they're frozen? To which he responded, the breadcrumbs are not frozen. Again, misunderstanding my words. I didn't mean to say that the breadcrumbs were frozen when I said I told you they're frozen. I'd been referring to the birds. You know, in hindsight, what I should have said was, and this would make perfect sense, why did you throw the breadcrumbs to the birds when the birds are frozen? He misunderstood upon my correction, stating that he didn't know what else to do with the breadcrumbs, and that perhaps, when the birds thawed, they'd still be
Он
able to
рассказывает
eat the
всякие
crumbs.
там
So I
голуби
said to Orville, I said, and this
холодают.
is what I
Это
said to him, I
странно.
said,
Как?
Orville, the birds may be dead.
Эй, мистер Хиппо такой классный, лучше рассказывать что-нибудь другое. Почему опять близко? 3 раза подряд. Это
It
последняя
seems that you
история.
have met your end. What a pity. You know, I don't feel too bad about it, though. After all,
Мистер
if it
Хиппо,
weren't
я
me,
знаю, что ты
it would
любишь
have just been one
рассказывать
of the
всяких
others, I guess.
своим другом.
I'm
Ой,
honestly
лучше
just glad to be
свою
out of those
игрушку
air ducts.
поцелуйте.
You know,
Они
it's
какой-то
not
пикник
easy for
устраивать свалил.
hippopotamus to fit
Так
up
ты
there,
вообще.
and not easy
И
to get
ты
down either.
4
Not as
раза
young as I
истории
used to be,
своего
as you
друга
can see.
Ойл на
I used to
улице.
be able to
Лучше
do all
сидеть в
sorts of
пиццерии.
things. You're young, you're vibrant, you have that sort of pep in your step. It reminds me of a conversation I was having with one of my good friends, Orville. We were having a nice
Опять
picnic one
пикник,
day.
да
I believe
ёпросоте.
it was summer. No, perhaps it was it the fall? Yes. It was the fall because the leaves had turned already. But I said to Orville, I says, Orville, I have a story to tell you. And Orville looked at me, kind of odd and said, well, what's it about? I said to him, not every story has to be about something, Orville. Sometimes a person just wants to talk. Why does everything have to be a story? I said to him. He just looked at me and he said, well, you said you had a story, and he was quite right. I did, in fact. I told him I had a story. I suppose if a person just wants to talk, then it's best to not announce that you're telling a story. Telling a story does come with its own pressures and expectations, I suppose. After all, if you're just talking to a friend, then there's no more expectations than if you were talking into the wind. Words by themselves aren't expected to carry,
Мне показалось, что
aren't expected
Соник
to stick.
говорит. Пишите комменты.
But
Мне
if
показалось,
if you
или нет?
announce you're
Пишите,
telling a
пожалуйста.
story, well then there'd better be a point to it all, No one wants to sit and listen to someone ramble on and on and on with absolutely no end in sight. So, it's good to be mindful that when you tell someone that you're about to tell a story, that you have something to say. Telling someone that you're going to tell them a story is tantamount to asking them to stop what they're doing and pay attention. You're basically saying, hey, buddy, stop everything. Stop what you're thinking. I have a solution to everything. And, well, I didn't really have any story to tell. In hindsight, I probably just misspoke when I said that I had a story. I think it would have just been better to tell Orville that I wanted to tell him something rather than tell him that I had a story. But, even then, it might have put too much importance on the whole thing. Either way, it was quite a nice day. I remember that we were drinking tea.
Тупые машины. Нечего сказать. Вот и все. Заканчиваю историю мистер Хиппо. Уже понятно, что рассказывает всякие истории. Вот. Своим друга Ори уже 4 раза истории своим друга Ори на улице, и вообще. Лучше рассказал всякие свидания, счастливую игрушку, как ты встретила счастливую игрушку, что помогал всех аниматроников. И вообще. Не знаю почему, не знаю как. Пишите комментарии, почему мистер Хиппо рассказывает историю своего лучшего друга Орвилл. Пишите прямо сейчас. Ладно, я думаю, заканчиваю видео. Случайно тут шума на улице, это ужас. Ну, бывает, все бывает. Ну ладно, я думаю, все. Заканчиваю видео. Если вам понравится история мистера Хиппо, ставьте лайк. И пишите на мой канал. И пишите комментарии. Вам вот какой части истории мистера Хиппо вам все нравится? Первая история, вторая история, третья и 4. Пишите комментарии. Ну ладно, с вами я, Фазбер, и все истории мистера Хиппо. И всем пока, до скорой встречи на стриме.